Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this is the drawing that I'll be sketching today. And what's different about this sketching is I'll be giving the light effect to this black and white image. To start with, what I'm doing over here is coloring the area or the portion wherein I feel like the divergence of light is happening, so that I'm coloring with yellow.
By creating an imaginary picture. Usually it's something that moves.
So I'm just going with the flow now, nothing very specific. At this point I realized, oops, I didn't keep any sheet behind, so I kept the sheet behind and then started coloring it again. And the remaining portion I'm just coloring it in light gray to give that night effect. At this point I was just thinking, should I have changed the intensity of gray, but then let's see how the outcome is. This is my first time doing it. Just let's just go with the flow. So when it came to the bulb, I was just wondering what to color or to keep it white, but then I regret coloring the bulb yellow, but it cannot be undone, so let's just proceed with that. And once you color the yellow and gray portion, on top of that just color with the usual colors. So all the wooden part will be brown in color. If you are observing the ant, just ignore that and come back to my sketching. And also let me know in the comment section what you think about my nail. That was the first time of me trying out the nail extension. And now I'm trying to give the shadow effect. So I'm just overwriting or overdoing the colors to make it look darker. And to the ladder I'm trying to give one texture. And I feel this was the best part of my imagination. I wanted to give the plywood type texture to the treehouse. So I was just going with the floor and giving it a random lines and curves to give that woodish texture. And then just giving a coat of light brown. Then I felt that it became very subtle, so I just drew on top of that with a darker color.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he described.
Now I'm giving the trees darker shade to make it look like a night sky, I would say. I was thinking what to color the guitar. Then I thought, why not going with the blue? The roof I wanted to color brick red, but since I did not have that color, I just went with the color whichever I saw before me.
So then, why?
The walls I wanted to color yellow, but the combination of gray and yellow turned out to be something else. Mm, I think it looks greener. Fine, I think I accepted that color. So, most of the space in this uh, image is the tree. So, then I went with my own imagination of giving the leaves or the trees different shades of green and brown to make it look little different and to differentiate one tree from another. So I went with different shades of green.
An imaginary picture. Usually it's something that
Now this green is little bit darker than the previous green. And then finally I color the remaining portion with the light green. And to be honest, it was quite challenging for me to work with those nails. So let me know in the comment section, should I do the sketching with nails or without nails?
So then, why?
Then after that I started giving a shadow effect to the flowers. So I just went with the flow and gave a gray color. I went first with the light gray, and then shaded the portion where I felt the um, branches are overlapping, the trees are overlapping. So I just shaded those areas with the light gray.
To lead his audience into the scene he described by creating an imaginary picture. Usually, it's something that moves.
On top of that, I went with the darker shade of gray. And just blended the light gray with the dark gray to give that shadowy effect. So wherever I felt the intensity of the darkness has to be increased, I just went with the flow and colored it darker.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he describes by creating an imaginary picture. Usually, it's something that moves.
Then I went with coloring the flowers.
Why?
I chose different colors to color the flower. The trees having same color will have the same flowers. So that was the thought behind it. Then I went with coloring the rope. I don't know why did I color that green. As I was coloring, I was just wondering why am I coloring that green. So let's just assume that it's the green rope. Then I went with the bean bag. I was satisfied with coloring the bean bag because it went as I imagined.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he described by creating an imaginary picture. Usually, it's something that moves. So then, why?
The remaining objects I just went with the flow and didn't wanted to think much, so just colored without thinking very intensely on what to be colored what. Then I started doing the same, giving the shadow effect to the objects and the items inside the house.
By creating an imaginary picture. Usually, it's something that moves.
Then I started coloring the books kept in the shelf over there. Since nothing was written on the books, so I scribbled and gave text to the books kept in the shelf. Then I proceeded with the same idea of giving the shadow effect. Somehow I was just not satisfied with the color of the house, so I changed the color to the brown. To do so, I just went with the lighter shade of brown, and I think it turned out to be better than the green. And again, I was not satisfied with the green rope, so I just turned it brown. Now the color of the rope is brown. Please don't judge me for that. And I think we're almost done. It turned out to be pretty good. Let me know in the comment section what do you feel about this. Thanks for watching.